Where's the remote?
Hey Google, where's the nearest clinic?
Here are the listings for the closest clinic within 2 kilometers.
Hey, do you know where I can find the SDI clinic?
No, just use your phone, you freak.
Phone? What?
What's a phone? Thank you. I'll tell you what a phone is. But first, let's go back to where it all started. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell patented the first telephone. Over 40 years later, the first dial telephone was invented. The 1930s saw phones becoming much more commercially accessible with the iconic Type 300. Over the next few decades, phones were distributed in all different shapes, colours and sizes and made their way into almost every household. It wasn't until the 1980s that we saw our first genuine mobile phone, the Motorola Dynatec 8000X. With a rather sizable price tag, it would take the innovation of Nokia to make the mobile available to the average consumer. At the turn of the century, the mobile phone market exploded, with millions in sales, most notably with the Nokia 3310. It also saw innovation through the Samsung uproar, the first phone to have MP3 capabilities. In 2002, the Sanyo SCP-5300 became the first phone to include a built-in camera. In the following years, phones have progressed steadily, but the game would forever be changed with the introduction of Apple's iPhone to the world. This would be known as the very first truly smart smartphone, with touchscreen technology and an app store. Apple would remain unchallenged for several years until the emergence of the main competitor Samsung with the Samsung Galaxy S, creating a surge in competitive advancements in smartphones and remaining top rivals to this day. The iPhone 4S saw the advent of the virtual assistant with Siri, paving the way for the likes of Google Assistant and Alexa. So, that brings us to today, in 2019, with Apple releasing the new highly regarded iPhone 11 Pro. Now that we've talked about the history of phones, let's see what the public have to say about them. So what are your memories on smartphones?
I remember I didn't get my first phone till I was 10.
Years ago would have been the house phone. There wouldn't have been such thing as a mobile phone, and then as it started coming out you had Snake and the likes of the games when you were a kid.
I had the Nokia with the snake on it.
Well, I remember the Nokia 3310 and the game Snake.
Bit of Snake.
Snake, yeah, Snake.
I remember my first phone was actually, do you know, one of those Samsung slide-up ones?
We didn't have a phone when we grew up in the house.
Well, I've had one ever since I think I made my first communion.
The first ever phone I had was a BlackBerry, and I just remember just having mom and dad's contacts, that's all really.
I was about 17 and my first phone was a Nokia 6200.
I think I got my first phone when I was 10, but it was a brick phone, so it was.
Social media has been a major benefit of the smartphone revolution. No one could have predicted the levels of connectivity created by social media platforms. There are over 3.3 billion users. 75% of people who use the internet use it exclusively for social media, and the average person has 7 social media accounts. These numbers are all thanks to the smartphone wave. And what kind of apps do you use? What's your favourite app?
Do you know what? I actually just use Facebook Messenger the most. That or Snapchat and Instagram.
Snapchat and Instagram.
Facebook Messenger.
Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram.
Snapchat probably, it's the most I use.
Snapchat for talking to people, Instagram, Facebook.
Facebook, and then just Google emails.
Even with the incredible numbers boasted by social media, like most things, it has its negatives. One of the major flaws that has come from social media is cyberbullying, a constant problem within our society. Studies have shown that smartphones and social media have rapidly increased the levels of anxiety and depression. It has had an impact on our sleep quality and has increased the number of road accidents in recent years. Research tells us that dopamine levels increase when we receive likes on social media. Hence, in September 2019, Instagram removed likes as a way to tackle the problems arising within people's mental obsession with validation online. Do you think the idea of social media is a bad thing?
Not a bad thing, but it is very addictive. Like, you don't realise how much time you're there scrolling on your phone until you're like, oh my God, I could have got something done in that time.
I think it's kind of half and half. Like, I think it suits some people, and at the same time, like, it's bad for other people.
Yeah, I think social media is a great place. I think it was stupid for Instagram to take away the likes. You should know yourself if it's affecting you, which it shouldn't, then you should take your time off.
It's good in the way that you can talk to others, like text and FaceTime people from other sides of the country, and bad kind of way to be bullying and
you're gonna have bullies all the time. You're gonna have bullies over anything. Like,
You're inundated with information, and I think young people are inundated with information now that I didn't have growing up.
Social media has become such an integral part of our lives, for better and for worse. Today, almost everything we need to do in our day-to-day can be done through the device in our pocket. However, this has made us so dependent on our phones that some say technology is slowly taking over our bodies and minds. Who knows how long it will be until the technology finally takes full control.
Hi, I'm Siri, your new virtual narrator. I'll be taking over from here. Let's see if the humans think smartphones have changed their lives.
Do you think life is easier with smartphones?
Definitely, 100% sure.
I'd say life is easier, but I wouldn't say it's better. I'd rather be talking to someone in person and rather talking to someone over the phone.
Well, I think it is good because you could run a business from your phone, which is excellent.
Booty calls.
Oh, definitely, 100%. The WhatsApp X, you know yourself.
And more people are buying the likes of the iPhone 11 Pro, which nearly has practically everything.
A problem that is occurring in society that not many people are talking about or even aware of is phone addiction, or nomophobia. 66% of people are addicted to their phones. The average person unlocks their phone 150 times a day. More than half of people don't switch off their phones at all. 40% of people check their phones in the middle of the night. 80% check within the first hour of waking up. Researchers have found out that smartphone addiction leads to an imbalance in brain chemistry and triggers depression and anxiety. Smartphone usage before sleeping increases the amount of time taken to fall asleep. The top 20% of smartphone users spend over 4.5 hours on their phones.
So how many hours a day would you say you spend on your phone?
16 hours.
Seriously?
Like 5 or 6 probably.
I would be using my phone for 6 hours, more than 6 hours.
Like, if I was on it all day, my head would be fried. So I keep to like 4 hours a day.
I am addicted.
Most of the night anyway, I'd spend on it.
But it's not just an incredible amount of time people spend on their phones. Over 1.5 billion smartphones were sold in 2018. From 2013 to 2018, global sales were valued at $522 billion. The global mobile ecosystem generated $1.1 trillion in 2018. App Store revenue was $92.1 billion in 2018. The average price of a phone is €400.
And in terms of your lifetime, how much money would you say you spent on phones?
Oh, jeepers,
Phones were kind of cheap back then, but like now, I say 5-6 grand altogether.
Probably like over $1,000, $2,000 maybe.
Say a good like $2,000. Yeah, probably a grand or so.
Till now, I would have spent about 2.5 grand.
So when we started with the iPhones, that's when we started going to grands, right? So I'd say about 3 to 4 grand max.
Just this year alone, probably like 1,000. 1,000, yeah.
I would have spent about 600.
Okay, that's not too bad. The evolution of the smartphone is a topic we've just accepted and not acknowledged. It affects the lives of billions every day, and we put so much time and money into our phones without really thinking about it. It's made our lives both easier and worse. It is a major turning point in our history, and it could be considered as influential as the Stone Age. Think about it, in years to come, in a history class, Chapter 19, the Phone Age. Well, whatever your opinion on the phone, good or bad, the smartphone truly is a